Romans 12 is like a beautiful song, a melody that resonates deep within our souls. It reminds us how to live for God, guiding us on a path of righteousness and devotion. It's like watching a sunrise, a new beginning that brings light to our lives. It fills us with hope and purpose, much like the first rays of dawn that chase away the darkness. Paul encourages us to offer ourselves as living sacrifices, a call to dedicate every part of our being to God. This means giving our lives fully to God, surrendering our desires and ambitions to His divine will. Just like a soaring dove, we find freedom when we surrender to God, experiencing a peace that transcends understanding. He wants us to live our lives with purpose and intention, to plant seeds of faith and nurture them with love. He wants us to be different, set apart for His glory, shining as beacons of His grace in a world that often feels dark. It's a call to be transformed, renewed, and empowered by His love, to walk a path that leads us closer to Him each day. As we embrace this divine invitation, we find ourselves growing in faith, hope, and love, becoming the people God created us to be. Together we can support and uplift one another, living out the teachings of Romans 12 in our daily lives. Let us accept this invitation with open hearts, ready to be transformed by the power of God's love and grace. Don't be like the world. The world often leads us astray, filling our minds with distractions and false promises. It can be easy to get lost in the noise and chaos, but we are called to something greater. Let God change you from the inside out. This transformation is not superficial. It goes deep into the core of who we are. It starts with a willingness to let go of our old ways and embrace a new path. This is how you discover His will. By allowing God to work within us, we begin to see the world through His eyes. We start to understand our purpose and the unique plan He has for each of us. Romans 12 verse 2 calls us to be different. It urges us not to conform to the patterns of this world, but to be transformed by the renewing of our minds. This renewal is a continuous process, a daily commitment to seek God's guidance. Just as a caterpillar transforms into a butterfly, we too can experience a metamorphosis. This change is profound and beautiful, symbolizing a new beginning and a fresh start. Our transformation happens when we allow God to change our thinking. It requires us to be open and receptive to His teachings, to let go of our preconceived notions and embrace His wisdom. When we surrender our hearts to Him, He renews our minds. This surrender is an act of trust, a declaration that we believe in His power to change us for the better. This renewal helps us to discern His perfect will for our lives. It gives us clarity and direction, helping us to make choices that align with His purpose. Just as a butterfly embraces its new wings, we too can embrace the new life God has for us. This new life is filled with hope, joy, and a sense of fulfillment that comes from walking in His ways. We all have different gifts from God. These gifts are unique to each of us, and they shape who we are and how we interact with the world around us. Romans 12 verses 6 to 8 remind us that we are all uniquely gifted. These verses encourage us to recognize and embrace our individual talents and abilities. Like a garden filled with diverse flowers, each with its own beauty and purpose, so too are we. Each flower contributes to the garden's overall splendor, just as each of us contributes to the world in our own special way. Some have the gift of prophecy, a profound ability to understand and communicate divine messages. Some have the gift of serving, always ready to lend a helping hand and support those in need. Others excel in teaching or encouraging, guiding others with wisdom and uplifting spirits with kind words. We must use our gifts to serve others. Our talents are not just for our own benefit, but are meant to be shared to enrich the lives of those around us. Just as bees diligently work together in a hive, we too must use our gifts to build up one another in love and unity. By working together and supporting each other, we create a community that thrives on mutual respect and cooperation. Section 4, a tapestry of grace. Romans chapter 12 verses 9 to 18 teaches us about love. Our love must be sincere. Our love must be genuine. Just as a spider meticulously weaves its web, we are called to weave a tapestry of grace in our relationships. We should be devoted to one another. We should honor and prefer one another. We should be patient in affliction and faithful in prayer. Section 5, love in action. Romans chapter 12 verses 14 to 21 speaks about loving our enemies. It talks about showing compassion to all. Imagine a mother bird feeding her young. She doesn't discriminate. We must be kind even to those who are unkind to us. Just as the sun shines on both the righteous and the unrighteous, so too must our love extend to all. When we bless those who persecute us, we reflect the heart of God. Section 6. Overcoming evil. Don't let evil win. Conquer evil by doing good. Romans chapter 12, verses 17 to 21, teaches us to overcome evil with good. Just as a mighty oak tree stands firm against the strongest storms, we too can stand strong against the forces of evil. We must not seek revenge. Vengeance belongs to the Lord. Let God be the judge. Instead, let us be agents of His love and grace, radiating His kindness and mercy in a world that desperately needs it. Section 7. Living in harmony. Romans chapter 12 is about living a transformed life. It's about living in harmony with God, ourselves, and others. Just as the intricate ecosystem of a forest thrives on interdependence, so too do we need each other. Let us embrace the teachings of Romans 12 and live lives that reflect the beauty, love, and grace of our Creator. Each of us plays a vital role in God's grand design. Let us live in unity, love, and purpose, reflecting the harmonious symphony of creation.